What is up? I'm your host, Gabby, and welcome to the Shit My Roommate Says podcast. Come vibe with my guests and I as we share our stories and open up about the taboo topics that roam around in most people's minds. All right, welcome back to the Shit My Roommate Says podcast. I'm your host, Gabby, and I am saying welcome after a little break that was very needed after some much excessive stress was placed on me. And I am very excited for this new episode. I get to introduce Miss Diane. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So,
Spirit
welcome. Spirit fingers. Welcome to the show, ma'am. I am so excited to have you. I know you are a newcomer to the SMRS Familia, and we are so excited to have you.
Excited to be here, girl.
So, the way we like to start off the podcast is kind of do a quick about yourself and how we met. I think this one is going to be very fun for the viewers because it's different. It's a new approach. So
Yeah,
feel free to take it away, ma'am.
sure. So I am from San Antonio. I am in school right now. I want to be a dentist, so I have a long road ahead of me. I am a huge karaoke enthusiast, which is how this girl and I met.
I love it. It was the best. I was like, you sounded such like Fergie and Jesus.
I say that all the time.
I was like, time stood still. Who's singing? What?
I felt like I was hovering above myself, watching myself sing.
Dude. Okay. So it's so funny because you met Chef and I, and of course, of course you saw, like, I went up and sang too. Now, I have not sang since COVID started, like out loud in a crowd. And it is one of my favorite things to do. So when I got on that stage thinking that I could do the songs that came so natural over a year ago, holy shit, I sounded horrible. I could hear myself and I was just like, yeah, no.
You know what? I didn't think you sounded bad, actually, especially when you sang Fancy. I was very impressed. I was
Oh,
like, who's singing? Because I know most of the voices there, because I go there quite a bit. So I'm very familiar with the voices and the people that sing. And that was a song that no one has ever sang, at least while I've been there. And then it was sung
oh,
so beautifully. So I was just like, wait, who is this? I like this.
bless your heart, making me feel all special and shit over here.
As you should, as you should. Let me just fix your crown. There you go.
Thanks, Queen. Thank you. Kind of had it tilted for a second.
Yeah, we got it.
Well, I am so glad that I was able to kind of meet you in that setting because it opens that door for viewers to know, like, I met you out of the blue. We even, I think, shared the stall for a second, because
Because we're
girl,
women.
because first world issues. And
Yeah.
like the thing that makes me laugh about it all is that is just how easily I love to talk to people. Like I just wanted to just go out and just have a date night with Chef, and it turned into like me talking to everybody. Like he was looking for me at the end of the night. I was
But that's
like,
good. It's good to meet new people and
enjoyed
converse.
it. I enjoyed it because look, it gives, going back to it, it gives that kind of example, like you could be on the show at any time. Like if we vibe, if there's something that you want to definitely talk about, which you gave a really good topic that I had never even thought about until you had mentioned it, which is which is a good transition. We're going to talk about daddy issues, ma'am, because I
Yeah,
know I know you got something to say here.
not a lot to say. It's just so that it's such a taboo topic.
I love it.
Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, you think daddy issues, and a lot of people automatically assume, like I said, woman in her 20s wanting to date older men for money because they resemble their father, just things like that could have just such a negative notion to it. And they don't really see the psychological part of it, where it's just that inconsistency with a parent, whether it be dad or it could even be mom. And it
Mhm.
kind of puts a strain in the mentality you have when you're in a relationship. And I think from, personal experience, I've seen where someone needs to just kind of feel validated and just have that constant, I love you, I'm not going anywhere,
Mhm.
because they have that abandonment from their parent, that absentee parent. And it's just not talked about. It's not talked about.
No, it really isn't. And it's funny because if you were to take a look into my past, yeah, one would kind of, I guess, said that I had daddy issues. I too dated older men. There's nothing wrong with it.
Not at all.
It's There's no negative standpoint for it, you know? I guess to me, I am one of those. I don't know about you, but I'm one of those that if we get along at the end of the day and we have a good chemistry and and I know it sounds silly, of course, to say it with like when dating an older person, but it's like if we vibe, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And to me, I mean, I know it sounds so cliche, but to me that age is just a number. It really is just a number because if you're willing to meet me on my level the same way I can clearly meet you on yours, then there's
Why
nothing to
not?
worry.
Yeah,
Yes, why not, you know?
exactly. And
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And even at that, it can even have a positive connotation. Like it can kind of change somebody in a positive way as well, like where you're seeking that stability and you're looking for somebody that's going to actually be better than the absentee parent.
Mhm.
You see stability, you see goals, you see a future, and these are things that you lacked, you know as a
Yeah.
child. So
No,
that's another way you can look at it as well. But even then, I guess going into my own personal testimony, I did have an absent father. He was in, he was out. I We kind of stopped talking when I was 6, and then I saw him again in my 20s, but we reconnected when I was 18. And
so how old are
again,
you now for timeline purposes? How old are you?
I'm 26. I'll be 27 in June.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah. So that. And now, so when I go into a relationship, I am constantly overthinking everything. Like, did I put out too early? Is he done with it? Did I put out too late and now he got bored, doesn't want to talk to me? You
I don't give a fuck if I put out. I'm just kidding.
see, and I don't
YOLO.
either, until afterwards. After is when
Oh,
they stop talking, you think of every little thing that could have gone wrong, because you think of everything, that all the reasons why that parent is gone,
girl, same.
Yeah.
No, I've been in that boat where yes, there have been times where after I dated somebody I thought was important at the time. Oh, hell no, dude. I became that. I became a girl. And I know it sounds so fucking wrong to even say that because it's like I hate to say it's like I became a girl because to me it's like it's no, I didn't become a girl. I just had like really strong emotions about it.
Yeah.
But I really did. Like I, as a woman, had just very strong reservations and emotions to these people basically just, saying peace out of nowhere. And it wasn't that, what am I trying to say? Like, it wasn't that I knew that okay, it wasn't that it was anything that had to do with me. It was their personal choice. But me as a girl who is clearly invested and interested in this person or these assholes. um, you know, it really did. It kind of fucked with my mind a little bit because I was like, what did I do? And at the end of the day, it's like I really truly had to tell myself, like, bitch, I didn't do shit. No, these people just had issues at that moment and they weren't able to be their best selves for this relationship. So thank you for doing me a solid. You have to really kind of rethink about how you
Fire.
think about
Yeah.
something. Yeah, rewire it.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes I feel like women get, just like kind of what you said, women get that
Bad
title of
rap.
being, oh yeah, a bad rep. There you go. Of being over emotional, over
No,
analytical. And so maybe sometimes it's just a communication issue. Maybe it has nothing to do with my issues with my parent. Maybe I already rewired my brain and it has everything to do with the lack of communication or whatever that issue was with these people at this time. You know what I mean? It's just,
I agree. I too, not that my dad was absent. My dad has always been there, but my dad just is natural by trade, a workaholic. A workaholic, yeah. And I think, with my dad, in total transparency, my dad is like not sure how to approach me as his daughter, you know what I mean? Like not that our relationship is impacted or that it is strained. It's just because we're so alike and we're so stubborn and we're both prideful and we both have the same mentality and mindsets on multiple things. I think he would have anticipated that or expected it with like my older brother, but for the fact that he has it with his one of his younger daughters, I
mm,
feel like it just kind of scares him in a way. So I it took me a minute to understand that, but I feel now, looking back, that has always been our biggest issue is that when he tries to say, my word is, "Meh," I'm like, no, you're going to hear me out.
yeah, yeah,
And so I guess it's hard to say. Like I didn't have the daddy issues of like the abandonment. I had it to where it's like my dad didn't understand me. So I felt like it was a catch 22. It's like you're there, but what you gonna do? You can't understand me. You have
yeah.
no idea how to talk to me.
No, and
That's how
that's
I felt about things.
absolutely, and that's very much a thing too that isn't really talked about either. You know, you can we talk about people who don't have parents, and I another example I had was my really good friend. Sorry, I don't know if you hear a motorcycle outside.
I was like, hey, boo.
I know, I don't know what's going on out there. So my really good friend, kind of similar thing. Her dad is a workaholic, and I've noticed that she's kind of her and I have similar traits in that sense. Just like what you said, he was in her life. Absolutely, he's a great father, but he is also a workaholic. She even she works with him,
Uh,
and their relationship there is even so professional that she calls him by his first name. But I've noticed that their issues, they kind of have similar issues in a sense to what you were saying.
mhm.
And but yet her and I in relationships have similar issues where we seek that validation. We just need to know like you're not going anywhere. We're okay. You know?
It's the approval, and
It's the approval, absolutely.
I feel like that does happen from unfortunately, it's being wired as a young child, like certain things. And I'm not trying to say like our parents did a crap job of raising us. No, like at the end of the day, our parents kind of grew up in such a weird time that they probably didn't receive that compassion or empathy from their family, like from my like, grandma, grandpa, and whatnot. So I have to think of it. And as I have heard stories growing up, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, like grass wasn't always green. So I guess to me, it's like, as knowing how I was raised, it kind of helped to understand that later. Like, that's why y'all do things the way you do them. But I really do think, though, it really did set me up as a child leading into an adult or to be misinterpreted on things, though, unfortunately.
Right.
I had to learn that. Um, but it was one of those lessons I didn't mind learning because as much as it was probably embarrassing, uncomfortable in the instances or whatnot, I'm trying to be kind of vague. Um, I'm trying to think. I guess example, like really just even being an adult, like even just kind of the skills for living as a responsible adult. Like I didn't even feel like I kind of had that growing up. Like when I became an adult, I felt like I was just completely green, which helped me as an adult to kind of, learn my place in life or whatnot. But it's it was those things that I wish I would have learned growing, like knowing now, like kind of looking back in a way, you know?
Right.
And I guess it's like that's now that I'm a parent, like those are the things that I know that I'm going to change so that way it's not that same. I guess to us, I guess, trying to loop it all back because of how we were raised, because of, the way our parents were raised, it did set us up for like that constant feel of approval and always having to wonder like, well, what really is going on? What's in your head? I constantly badger chef because I am such a worrywart and like my mind is constantly running that
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? And it's just because he's quiet. Naturally, he's a very quiet person. And he's like, nothing. And I'm like, I really just wish you would tell me. And to him, it's like, there's nothing wrong. But to me, it's like, I just need to know. I need you to say like nothing is wrong.
Nothing
I
is
hate,
wrong. We're okay. I'm okay.
yes, like, but it's that approval.
Yeah, absolutely. And tying in what you said about, we our parents didn't do a crap job. So I'm with my mom, I'm one of two. So it's me and then my half sister, one
Yeah,
of
I
four.
got four. Yeah, I got four.
With my biological father, I'm the oldest of six. Yeah. So, but with, so my sister, she was raised with both parents.
Okay.
Uh, but now I'm kind of seeing, just like you said, grass isn't always greener. I'm seeing how even their issues kind of affect how she is in relationships and her friendships and how she reacts. There's always, it's that nature versus nurture. The way you're brought up kind of
Yeah.
determines how you're going to be. um, One thing I definitely pride and give props to my mom for is just, raising me and doing everything on her own. So like you said, with those life skills, she like really was like, nope, if I can do it having you, you can do it.
You
Fight or flight.
know, it is. It was. My parents were divorced, and my parents got divorced, I want to say I was like 6. And yeah, I lived with my mom, because like my dad traveled, but we were with him holidays, whatnot, here and there. But yeah, like my mom really did do it on her own. I don't give her enough credit. I know like she likes to say I'm her problem child because, I just love to be such a firecracker. But she really did do a good job. Like there were things that I was set up for, but I also know like if my mom needed to teach me how to balance a checkbook or make us dinner, she's going to make us dinner. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not going to blame her that I didn't know these things, but it just would have been nice to know them.
definitely. Just those little things like how to cook rice for me, for instance.
Bitch, I don't know how to make that at all. I'm just like, that's why his name is Chef.
Oh man, I think that's where I need to take your footnotes on.
I said it really early in our relationship. I was like, I don't cook. And I learned really early in the relationship that he did. So I was all, okay,
All right, we're good.
come on, magnet. You just got 10 more points. Keep going.
All the cool points.
Exactly. No, we did really good, but no, I'm not. Like those are like, again, it's not that she didn't teach me how to cook. I'm not a cooker. Like I know how to cook. I know how to do, I can make meals. I can do things. It's just I don't like to cook.
Yeah,
Like
same.
if I'm a
Yeah,
cleaner though, I will make my house be hella clean and fresh, like nobody's business.
I think I'm the workaholic. I got that trait. That's where I got from my mom and my grandma. Is
I
I
do
will pay the
both.
bills.
No, see, same. I'm a very independent person, and I guess that can also attribute, like I hate when people say it, but like because women are so self-sufficient nowadays, people tie it back to the daddy issue thing.
Yeah, yeah, for
Like,
sure.
and I was thinking about it. So there was a time when in my past that I had dated an older man, and he actually, and I think this was one of the reasons that kind of made me a little bit more attracted to older men at the time, was that they're willing to help, not necessarily help you. Don't worry, it's not like sugar daddy, sugar baby shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like if you are passionate about something, they're gonna see that. Like they see the passion, like they see the like what makes her the sparks,
Right.
and they catch the cues to me. And what made me kind of enjoy, hanging out with that person at the time was that he gave me business information and business knowledge, and then eventually helped me start my first business. Like, everything was mine, like, it was completely all mine, but he was like, "Here, this is what you're gonna need. This is what you gotta do, la, 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 la." And, I mean, I followed the steps, listened, did my research on things, and I was very successful with it. I was like, but it's I guess that attention, putting someone allowing themselves to put that time and attention to you,
Right.
making the
Absolutely.
effort.
Making the effort, and to me it should always be reciprocated too.
Mhm.
I can't tell you, I mean, I've had a couple of guys that were really intimidated and completely turned off at the fact that I wanted to pay sometimes. And I don't see anything. I mean, I guess I can see in that old school mentality, man always pays. But for me, I enjoy, I've always been the type to cater to my men in that way. If I can pay for us, let me pay. Let me, since I can't cook, let me pay. Let me do this for you. Let me show you this type of appreciation. And it doesn't have to be every time, but I think it's nice every once in a while to show that, hey, like, don't think that I expect this from you every time, because I don't.
Yeah.
It's nice that you do this and it's great, but that's something that also kind of gets tied back into the daddy issue thing as well, because sometimes they just assume, well, they're doing this because they're desperate, they just don't want to be left, so they're going to pay, and then that's not what it is at all. It's more of a, I'm trying to cater in this way.
No,
This has nothing
exactly.
to do with the daddy issue. This has to do with us being equals. And you're going to spoil me here, I'm going to spoil you there.
Do you think that there's more negative impact to daddy issues than more people care to see the positive?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I think more so, I mean, I see where it gives these mentalities and it causes a lot of problems, but it can also cause positive change where
Mhm.
you see this and saw how it was, so you're looking for the exact opposite. But sometimes if it's a validation issue, like for me, for instance, in some cases, if it's a validation or approval issue, then that can have a negative impact. So it can kind of go both ways, honestly.
I understand that. I guess to me, it's like I really wish, because so many people, I do personally see it with more of a negative standpoint, of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
because people choose to, in my opinion, berate women and say just because they've experienced certain things, they chalk it up to a daddy issue. But it gives it such a bad light or negative context. When I guess to me, it's like I think of a daddy issue like, oh, you have daddy issues? But what did you do to better yourself from those? Like I guess there's always a silver
Like
lining
a
to
damage.
it.
It gives you like that damaged goods kind of label
Yes.
if you
Yes.
have daddy issues. Yeah.
And to me, it's like, I guess I see it. I see maybe there's instances where somebody could hit rock bottom or have a low moment, but use that at the end of the day to be your fuel to progress into something better. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I guess to me with 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 that negative stigma, it's just judgment at that point.
Yeah.
I
It
don't know.
is. It is. And with society, it has a tendency sometimes to do that to women, even though without any type of insight onto how it really is or what's going on within that individual and what they've been through. They don't see that. They just see that, like I said, that label slapped right on their foreheads. If there's any type of mental issue there, whether it be from, wherever it stems from, it kind of just get that label there.
So not even with, of course, just dating older gentlemen. Have you ever experienced where it was talked about with different people you might have dated within your own age range? Like
Yeah.
what it was, so it was brought up a lot.
Yeah. So this one guy I dated, um, I won't say his name, but this one guy I dated, he was very narcissistic
Gotcha.
and very just full of himself. And for some reason, we did have a lot in common. We hit it off. It was great until it wasn't. And he really did a good job at making me feel as if I was just so attached to him, and it had to do with my daddy issues. And I was just so like, I was clingy. And literally, all I did was message him and say, "Hey, are we still cool? Are we still talking?" And he just blew up on me and was like, "Crazy bitch, blah, 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 blah," all these things, saying everything I just said to you. And I was just like, why, what does this have to do with anything? You just haven't communicated with me. I just want to know if we're still talking or not. What does that have to do with my past? I don't get that.
It's it's those moments where it's just like it does stem off into like a toxic mentality
Yeah.
in a way because people and I feel like it's kind of like an immaturity,
Hmm.
like you're uneducated about how to deal with people's emotions and whatnot, that you gaslight, I guess, and
Yeah.
gaslighting it to me would be like the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
But I guess I've been in relationships where they hear, of course, like I'm not really close to my dad, and now I am. It took time into my adult life to build that bond with my dad, but there were times when I was just growing up, like boys that I don't even remember their names now because they don't make a difference in my life. Would try and just give you those like little jabs, and I'm just like where is this coming from? Like,
Yeah.
and then that's where they're like, oh, because you grew up with a single mother and this and that. I'm like, I pitch my dad's still there.
Like, what are you talking about?
Like, I guess to me, it's like I hate the assumption that people always think like again, people think you are damaged goods.
Damaged goods. Yeah. And it's just not the case. And thankfully, I'm very fortunate that I was strong enough to not internalize everything that he said to me and bring that into all of my future relationships and with the guys that I dated after that. That was just complete bullshit to me. Like, that did not need to happen. He did not have to be that ugly about it. But that's what it's just like what you said earlier, where you have to look at it like, there's nothing wrong with me. It has everything to do with what's wrong with them.
Mhm.
Hmm.
When within relationships that I was in, it helped me to understand as I was getting older that because I'm honest about, my things I've gone through or experiences I've had, like because I'm honest about that in relationships, like people didn't try and like use it against you. And to me, it's like when I'm telling somebody something, like you're not holding power over me. Like you're not going to make me feel inferior because you caught me sharing a moment of my weakness to you, and it would make me laugh sometimes because I'm I would say like I'm a very like non-confrontational person. So when I would be in relationships and they want to argue and kind of just start like digging deep, I'm like, "Here, it takes a lot to get me upset." So it was at the end of the day, it's like I'm more so learning because you're not getting a rise out of me. I'm learning more about you.
You, absolutely. Like, that's
And
what it says about you as a person.
yes, and the thing that helped me, and I say it with my daddy issues, was that I was able to learn other people, which then helped me to, I guess, in turn, heal myself. Because I can't really say that. I mean, I've also been in the same relationship now for 3 years, and we're gonna get married and all that. But right? So, I guess to me, it's like you can grow from it. Like, you can I I can say now that, yeah, I had issues, but it doesn't mean I still have them. I feel like you are able to overcome them. Like, they're not gonna always stick, I feel like they're gonna roll off like bad credit every 7 years.
Oh, I need my credit to do that. I'm just
Oh, you had a
kidding.
daddy issue 7 years ago? Don't worry about it anymore. It's gone, girl.
It's gone, it's gone, you're good, you're gonna be set for life in every
Hook in
relationship that you're gonna
hook in
be in.
your yeah, hook in your tatas. Like, you're good. Don't worry about it.
You buy a new boyfriend now.
Did you forget about it? So did we. Forgot password. Redo.
I need that. I need that. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting though. I'm glad you asked that question though about whether I see it more in a negative or a positive light. I think it definitely I think you're right. It is more in a negative. I think you're absolutely correct when, yeah, you know, touching back on that question, you changed my mind a little bit. I think you're absolutely right. It's definitely seen more negatively than positively.
Exactly, and the only reason I say that is because I now feel I am on the other side of it. So to me, it's kind of like, again, I had these issues, I don't have them anymore. But I'm always willing to help those who may be going through it. Like, it's a learning phase. You get past it. And I guess it brings me to a good point, but like it brings you to self-healing, and doing what's better for yourself internally, externally, it's that rewire.
Yeah, rewiring your brain into saying, it's well, also, I mean, sometimes it might be you too. You kind of have to take a step back and say, am I feeling this because of what I've been through, or am I feeling this because this is a real thing and I should be upset about this?
Mhm.
It gives you that interpersonal thinking that you need.
It really does. I guess the one thing that I really do enjoy with Chef is that we are able to talk about so much that he understands, like, if there's something that's bothering me, he's gonna want to know. He's gonna ask me, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's this?" Or, it's giving that effort in to trying to understand somebody.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure.
What would you hope to take to future friendships, relationships, from what you know now? Like, what you experienced then to what you know now?
Yeah, I think being less critical on myself. Stop looking at everything as what did you do wrong. Think about everything you did right, and think about just maybe communicating to that person, hey, I did all these things right. So what's the deal? But yeah, just communication, and just again, just not being so critical of myself and everything that I do.
What did you do within your own self-healing process?
Well, therapy really. Therapy really helped. I'm very open about my mental issues. So I also have bipolar disorder. I have this bipolar 2. So I don't really get hits of mania where I'm like hyper. It's more just depression, very bad depression spells
Mhm.
that I get. So I try to really learn to manage that part before entering this positive thinking process. So once I kind of managed my mental disorder, I was able to go to therapy, talk these things out, figure out what triggers me and how to approach them. So like mentioned that I love singing karaoke and just singing in general. I also play guitar and I play ukulele. So these things just really helped cure me pretty much and tell myself, hey, you're awesome. You're going to be awesome. And if people don't like you, then they don't have to, they can go away.
I feel like we just became best friends. Oh my God, you play the ukulele. I want
I
to
do.
learn
Not
so
well, but I do.
much. I want to learn it.
Yeah.
Okay, as you can tell, I love to sing. I would love to learn to play the guitar, but my one that I do want to learn, because of course I have my 3-year-old bad girl jewelry, and you got my Riri reference, where
You,
she's bad girl
I did.
jewelry.
I'm gonna have to follow up with that.
So Rihanna's like hashtag, and like, or not her hashtag, but like her handle for like social media, it's like bad girl Riri.
Riri.
Well, because my daughter, is such a badass, like Rihanna, like our queen, hail. She's
Uh,
bad girl jewelry.
got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. That's funny because I actually have my really good friend Brianna. She's in my phone as Bad Girl Bree Bree. So now I get now I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, see, you understand.
At first I
You
thought it
put
was a song. I was like, wait, but you're talking about her Instagram. Yes, yes, yes. No, I get it now. I feel like I lost some cool points.
You didn't lose cool points because you have a friend who you basically use the same reference for.
Yes,
So
yes, I
it's kind of
do.
nice. I'm like, I'm learning more about our friendship, and it's only going to get better.
Oh, girl, it's blossoming. It's blossoming.
Yes, it is. Blossoms, blossoms. No, and I like asking so many questions because I want the viewers to kind of understand, like, we all experience this. Like, it
Yeah,
isn't just something that one person goes through by themselves.
for sure. For sure.
Uh,
Nobody's alone in any situation. There's always
Nah,
someone going through it. And, if they can handle it, you can handle it. Find a way that works for you.
it's true. I guess to me it's like, if I were to be able to kind of say something after being able to say, that I got better from mine, from I was able to excel within the issues I had pertaining to daddy issues. Um, I would just tell people, I'm like, don't let it get the best of you, like, things get better.
Yeah, they do. They do. And recognize yourself and your self-worth. You're not your issues, you're not your mental illness, you're not your past, you are you. And what you do with you is your business. And how you go about these things, just go about it the right way. Don't fall into these bad habits trying to fix something. You're know your worth.
So I feel that you have more confidence to you than I've seen with most women. I find that so nice and refreshing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's actually, I take that as a big compliment because my self-esteem is something I've worked on for years trying to
Right?
hone. So that's a big compliment to me. I really appreciate that.
Yes. I feel like, once you understand yourself as a person and where you've been and where you're at, it helps you to kind of balance yourself to better your self-esteem, to better your confidence, to better yourself in general. There were
Yeah.
there were moments, I'm still in my head about things all the time. Like, I started a podcast and I get nervous going up and talking to people here and there. Would you have noticed that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, it's one of those things, but it's fun. It's fun to know that you do something better, I guess. Like, to know that you excelled from things.
Definitely. You take your situation and make it a positive outcome.
It's a good vibes only zone in a way.
Exactly. Exactly. Good vibes only.
Well, you're going to be one of my shorter episodes, but I don't even mind it. Like, I honestly enjoyed all of this with you.
Good.
And
Thank you.
And for those who are interested in wanting to come on and talk about, what's going on, what's rambling in your mind, like this wonderful lady brought me daddy issues, and I was like, let's fucking do it. I feel like we set this all up like that.
So perfect. It would just, it was meant to be.
It, we're gonna definitely have more talks. Do not worry. You're gonna have to definitely join the family
Down,
now.
down. I'm already in. I'm already at the
Yes. See, she didn't even become a sobrina. She was just like, I'm a tia.
I'm a tia. I'm gonna be the crazy drunk tia.
I love that. Those are the best ones. That's my
Yeah.
best friend for sure. I already told her. For
That's
those who are interested in wanting to come on to the Shit My Roommate Says podcast, you're more than welcome to reach out to me via email. I am reachable at Gabby, Gabby, at shipmyroommatesays.com. We are now streaming on all major streaming services. So finally kind of got added to Pandora and iHeartRadio. They take forever, but they're so worth it. And for those who are interested, our merch sale was super successful, and we're going to be doing totally more designs. This is actually one of our shirts. I was super
Ah,
excited. Yes, and any queen cannot be, she isn't complete without her royal wine glass. So those are going to be on our website, shipmyroommatesays.com. It was wonderful having you, Miss Diane, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
sounds good. Sounds good.
Yes, we will talk soon, hon. Y'all have a great day. Bye. Hey, if you enjoyed today's topic and guest, just stay tuned and subscribe.